Most people think extinct human species disappeared thousands of years ago. Gone. Finished. But what if that's not completely true? What if small fragments of those ancient humans are still alive today inside modern DNA? Hidden beneath skin, memory, and bone, traces of Neanderthals and denisovans may still exist. And honestly, that changes the story of human evolution in a way most people never consider. Because the real question isn't just whether ancient humans vanished. The real question is, how much of them still exists today? For a very long time, humans believed evolution followed one simple path, a straight line from primitive ancestors to modern Homo sapiens. But science revealed something far stranger. The ancient world wasn't inhabited by just one type of human. Multiple human species lived at the same time. Neanderthals roamed Ice Age Europe. Denisovans survived across parts of Asia. Homo erectus existed for nearly 2 million years. Researchers even discovered tiny human species like Homo floresiensis in Indonesia, often called the hobbits. The human family tree suddenly looked less like a straight line and more like a tangled jungle. And here's where things become unsettling. According to paleoanthropologist Chris Stringer from the Natural History Museum in London, many of these ancient human species didn't live completely isolated from one another. Their territories overlapped, and they likely encountered each other regularly. Imagine seeing another human-like species staring back from the darkness thousands of years ago. Would modern humans have feared them, traded with them, fought them, or something even more intimate? Scientists began asking these questions seriously after discoveries in the early 2000s changed anthropology forever, and the answer was hidden somewhere nobody expected: inside modern human DNA. In 2010, a scientific study led by geneticist Svante Pääbo shocked the scientific world. Researchers extracted ancient DNA from Neanderthal bones and compared it to modern human genomes. What they found sounded almost impossible at first. Many living humans still carry Neanderthal DNA today. People from Europe and Asia can carry around 1% to 4% Neanderthal genetic material inside their bodies right now. Denisovan DNA was also discovered in populations across Melanesia and parts of Southeast Asia. In other words, extinct humans never fully disappeared. A small part of them survived through interbreeding and continued generation after generation until it reached the modern world. What makes this discovery even more surprising is how invisible it remained for thousands of years. Nobody can look at someone and instantly know they carry ancient human genes. The evidence stayed hidden deep inside chromosomes until modern genetics became advanced enough to uncover it. And once scientists opened that door, the understanding of human evolution changed dramatically. Homo sapiens were no longer seen as a completely isolated species. Human history suddenly looked messy, connected, and unpredictable, as if different branches of humanity briefly collided before merging together. And that raises one uncomfortable question most people never consider. If ancient DNA still survives inside people today, what exactly is that DNA still doing? At first, scientists assumed Neanderthal and Denisovan DNA inside modern humans was mostly useless, just ancient biological leftovers with no real function. But as researchers studied deeper, the story became far more surprising. Studies published in journals like Nature and Science showed that some of these ancient genes still affect the human body today. Certain Neanderthal genes are linked to the immune system, helping early humans survive unfamiliar viruses and diseases after migrating into new environments. Other inherited variants may influence skin adaptation, fat storage, sleep cycles, and reactions to cold weather. In a strange way, modern humans may still depend on survival traits inherited from extinct human species thousands of years later. And the story becomes even more fascinating. In 2014, researchers studying Tibetan populations discovered that a Denisovan-related gene may help people survive at extremely high altitudes with lower oxygen levels. Think about that for a second. A genetic advantage from an extinct human species could still be helping living humans breathe more efficiently today. But ancient DNA isn't always beneficial. Some studies suggest certain Neanderthal genes may also increase risks for allergies, depression, nicotine addiction, or immune overreactions in modern environments. It's almost as if ancient human evolution never stopped influencing the present. And once someone realizes that extinct humans may still shape biology and survival itself, another question naturally appears. Why did these different human species mix together in the first place? For years, scientists imagined encounters between different human species as violent struggles for survival. Brutal competition between Homo sapiens, Neanderthals, and other ancient humans fighting over territory and resources. And sure, some encounters probably were dangerous. But DNA evidence tells a more complicated story. Interbreeding doesn't happen unless groups spend enough time near each other. That means these ancient humans likely communicated somehow, shared environments, and formed social interactions beyond simple conflict. Anthropologists now believe some groups may have exchanged tools, survival knowledge, and possibly even emotional bonds. Strange, right? The ancient world may have been far more connected than people imagine. And honestly, there's something deeply human about that idea. Imagine two different human species meeting near a fire during the Ice Age after surviving freezing nights, predators, and uncertainty. Fear may have existed at first. Curiosity too. But over time, survival often pushes humans toward connection. A 2018 study published in Cell suggested that some interbreeding events may have provided genetic advantages that helped Homo sapiens adapt faster to unfamiliar climates and diseases outside Africa. So what began as survival may have helped shape the future of humanity itself. But hidden beneath all of this is a darker possibility scientists still debate today, one that makes the story feel almost unsettling. Here's the part that quietly unsettles many scientists and historians. If ancient humans interbred with Homo sapiens multiple times across thousands of years, then the lines separating us from them may never have been as clear as people imagine. Modern humans often picture extinct species as completely alien creatures, but genetically, Neanderthals were extremely close to us. Some researchers estimate they shared more than 99% of their DNA with Homo sapiens. That means if someone traveled back in time and saw a Neanderthal from a distance, they might not immediately realize they were looking at a different human species. And honestly, that completely changes how we define what being human really means. But there's an even stranger possibility underneath all of this. Some anthropologists believe certain human species may not have vanished through extermination, but were gradually absorbed into Homo sapiens populations through interbreeding over generations. In other words, extinction may not have always meant total disappearance. It may have meant genetic merging, where only fragments survived inside future humans. And if that happened before, it forces an uncomfortable realization. Humanity was never a perfectly separate species moving through history alone. The story was always more interconnected, chaotic, and mysterious than most people were taught in school. The deeper scientists investigate ancient DNA, fossils, and human evolution, the harder it becomes to see humanity as a single isolated species. The old image of Homo sapiens standing alone at the top of evolution no longer matches the evidence. The ancient world was filled with different kinds of humans surviving, competing, and sometimes connecting with one another. And somehow, small pieces of those extinct worlds still survive inside modern people today. Every strand of DNA carries echoes of migrations, survival, and encounters from tens of thousands of years ago. Maybe that's what makes this story so fascinating. Modern humans often see history as distant, but ancient human species are not completely separated from the present. Their fingerprints still exist inside modern biology and genetics. In a strange way, humanity became a living museum of extinct species without most people realizing it. The ghosts of ancient humans never fully disappeared. They became part of the story that eventually created the modern world. But this discovery also leaves one final question. If scientists uncovered all of this only recently through genetics, then what else remains hidden inside the human genome? New fossils and future DNA analysis may rewrite the human story again in unexpected ways. Because the truth is, the history of humanity was never simple, clean, or singular. And perhaps the biggest mystery is realizing that part of extinct humanity may still be alive inside millions of people today.